Healing under shadow, I hold the hands of sick children for a living. I hear fear before they find words for it. I see it in their eyes and in the way they search their mother's face. I never promise that everything will be fine. I tell them something true instead. I tell them they are not alone. I am 41, and I work as a pediatric nurse practitioner on medical flights. My team moves very sick children from remote towns in Colorado to large hospitals in Denver. Some need heart surgery. Some can no longer breathe well. The plane is small, the cabin is loud, and every minute matters. Before each flight, I check medicine, oxygen, monitors, and emergency tools. I speak with doctors, pilots, and frightened parents. Then I enter the cabin and make my voice calm. A child may not understand a medical chart, but a child understands a face. So I carry fear without showing it. One winter night, we flew a 7-year-old boy named Caleb from a mountain town. His lips were pale, and his breath came in short sounds. His mother sat across from me with both hands over her mouth. Each time the monitor changed, panic filled her eyes. I held Caleb's hand while I adjusted his oxygen. I told him we would soon see the lights of Denver. He asked if his mother could stay near him. I said yes, and showed her where to place her hand. For 90 minutes, I watched every number. When we landed, doctors rushed Caleb into surgery. His mother hugged me before she followed. "You gave me hope," she whispered. I did not feel brave. I only felt tired. That was my life. I carried pain from one place to another. I could not always fix it, but I made sure no one faced it alone. My husband lived in another world. Marcus was 44. He worked as a high-frequency algorithmic trader. He built systems that bought and sold stocks within seconds. His office in our mountain home had 6 screens and 2 private phone lines. Numbers changed all day across the walls. He loved speed, risk, and winning. When I came home after Caleb's flight, snow covered the road. I smelled of antiseptic and cold airplane air. My shoulders hurt. I wanted a shower and 10 quiet minutes. Marcus did not look away from his screens. "You forgot to call the repair company," he said. "I had an emergency flight." You always have an emergency. A child could not breathe. He sighed. "Sick children do not remove your duties here." His words hurt, but I did what I always did. I made his coffee. I told myself he was under pressure. I told myself love required patience. Marcus gave me every feeling he did not want to carry. If he lost money, he blamed his team. If he made money, he complained that others slowed him down. If a client questioned him, he attacked the whole world with words. I listened. I made dinner. I rubbed his shoulders. I kept his anger from filling every room. He never asked who carried mine. When a child died, I sat in my car before entering the house. I wiped my face and left my grief outside. Marcus did not like heavy moods. He said my work was my choice. Yet he brought every bad trade to the dinner table. Over time, I learned his moods as well as I knew a medical chart. I knew when to speak and when to stay silent. I changed myself to keep peace. Marcus never changed his behavior. He believed my patience had no end. He believed my gentle nature meant I had no strength. Sometimes he looked around our beautiful house and smiled as if the walls had won me. "You would never leave this life," he once said. "You are too soft for struggle." He did not know me at all. I had worked in a village clinic when the power failed. I had kept a baby breathing by hand. I had told parents that their child had died. I knew struggle. I simply did not use my strength to hurt people. My father understood that. He raised me after my mother died. He owned a small hardware store and saved with care. When he died, he left me $350,000 and one line in a letter. Use this to build something kind. I knew what I wanted to build. For 5 years, I planned the Horizon Clinic, a mobile medical unit for poor children in rural Colorado. Many families lived hours from a pediatric doctor. Some delayed care because they had no money. The clinic would travel to them. I completed forms, gained local permission, and studied medical equipment. I placed my father's money into a foundation account. Marcus offered to manage the finances. "Let me handle the numbers," he said. "You handle the children." I trusted him. At home, I kept giving him the best parts of me. I gave him calm after anger and care after cold words. I forgave him before he asked. He called it my duty. I called it love. He missed my kindness before he even threw it away. We had chosen the mobile unit, secured permits from 6 towns, and found 2 doctors who would volunteer each month. A supplier had also offered a discount on equipment. One Tuesday afternoon, I opened the foundation banking page to pay the first large order. It included exam tools, oxygen units, child-safe beds, cold storage, and basic lab machines. The page loaded. Then I saw the balance, $0. At first, I thought the page had failed. I refreshed it, checked the account number, and entered the security code again. The number stayed the same. The room became very still. I heard the heating vent and a plane moving outside. I looked at my hands. Those hands had signed every clinic paper. They had moved my father's money into that account. Now the account held nothing. I called the bank and spoke in a calm voice. The woman checked the records and told me that a series of transfers had taken place during the last 12 months. Transfers to where? I asked. Some records require a formal request. I am the foundation owner. Yes, but another authorized manager approved them. Marcus. I thanked her and ended the call. I did not scream. I did not cry. My body became cold from the inside. I knew this feeling from medical emergencies. Emotion had to step back so action could begin. I downloaded every record I could reach. The transfers started small. $20,000, $30,000. Then larger amounts followed. The money moved through several private accounts and ended in a luxury investment fund. The fund belonged to Elena Vale. I knew the name. Marcus had mentioned her during dinner 6 months earlier. He called her a young leader in private equity. He said she understood how rich people wanted to live. He spoke about her new wellness resort in Aspen, a private place for wealthy members. I remembered the light in his face when he said her name. I opened the public files for the project. The resort planned private cabins, a spa, a beauty clinic, a wine room, and a landing area for small aircraft. It promised status, comfort, and privacy. My father's money was not paying for medicine. It was paying for luxury. I stayed after everyone left and reviewed each transfer. Marcus had used 3 companies to hide the path. The plan was careful, but not perfect. He had taught me to trust numbers. Numbers now exposed him. I went home at my usual time. Marcus sat before his screens, clean and calm. "How was your day?" he asked without turning. "Busy," I said. Mine was excellent. I walked into the kitchen and began dinner. A younger version of me might have confronted him. I might have thrown the records onto the table and demanded the truth. But I worked with crisis. Panic wasted time. A person in danger first needed facts, a plan, and control. So I gave Marcus nothing. For 3 days, I copied foundation records and reviewed our tax files. Marcus saved backups of his work phone on a private server in the house. Years earlier, I had helped him recover travel documents from that system. I still knew his password pattern. I entered the backup after midnight while he slept. At first, I found business files. Then I found a hidden message folder. The first message from Elena was 2 years old. Their affair had started during a finance meeting in New York. It continued in hotels, private clubs, and trips Marcus called business travel. He sent her gifts, paid for an apartment, and promised her a future after the Aspen project opened. The affair hurt, but the messages about me cut deeper. Elena once asked whether I would question the missing clinic money. Marcus replied, "Nora is a saint, but saints are exhausting and boring. She has no edge. She has no real ambition. She is so soft that she will accept any excuse I give her." Then he wrote, "I will let her keep flying around with sick kids while we build something glamorous. Her compliance is my free pass." I read the words twice. He had not only betrayed me, he had studied my kindness and used it against me. He had watched me care for suffering families, then decided that care made me easy to control. I thought of my father's store, his rough hands, and his letter. Use this to build something kind. Marcus had used that gift to buy part of a resort for his mistress. I closed the file and sat in the dark. The nurse inside me understood what had happened. Some injuries could heal. Some hearts could return after they stopped, but not everything should be saved. That night, I declared my marriage dead. I did not tell Marcus. The next morning, I made coffee and placed it near his keyboard. My voice stayed soft, but my eyes no longer held warmth. "You seem tired," he said. "I am." He returned to his screens. He did not notice that something inside me had closed. I contacted a lawyer through a doctor I trusted. After she reviewed the first records, her face became serious. "This may involve federal crimes," she said. "The money crossed state lines and entered a private business. We need the right investigator." 2 days later, I met Christian Hale. Christian was 46 and investigated financial crimes for the federal government. He had served as a military prosecutor. He wore a plain dark suit and carried an old leather folder. He had no interest in status and did not speak more than needed. We met in a quiet office. I placed the records on the table and showed him the bank path, company names, transfer dates, and messages. After an hour, he looked at me. "You found all this alone?" "Yes." "You kept the original files?" "Yes." "You did not confront him?" "No." For the first time, his face changed. It was not pity, it was respect. "You understand evidence," he said. "I understand what happens when people panic." Christian asked careful questions. He never called me weak. He did not reduce me to a hurt wife. He treated me as the owner of the foundation and the person who had built the case. We began to work. I gave him every record I could legally provide. He gained formal access to the rest. He traced the wires from Colorado to New York and then into the Aspen Resort Fund. He found false reports that described the transfers as service payments. No service had taken place. The district attorney joined the case. Federal teams studied the companies, Marcus's trading business, and the resort investment. I still lived with him. Each evening, I entered the house and played the role he expected. I cooked. I answered in a calm voice, but I stopped giving him comfort. When he complained, I said, "I hear you." I no longer told him that he was right. When he asked me to rub his shoulders, I said I was tired. When he blamed me, I looked at him until he stopped. My silence disturbed him. One night, he watched me across the table. "What is wrong with you?" "Nothing. You feel cold." "Do I?" "Yes. You used to make this house feel warm." The truth sat between us. He missed my kindness, but he did not know why it was gone. "You work too much," he said. "That clinic project has taken over your life." I almost asked which clinic he meant, the one I built or the one he destroyed. Instead, I drank my water. "You know I support your little mission," he said. "My little mission." I looked at the man who had stolen 5 years of work. I saw his expensive watch and the hands that signed away my father's gift. I felt no need to shout. Anger became focus. Christian and I met in quiet places and reviewed evidence late into the night. He never used my pain to move closer to me. He simply stood beside the truth. One evening, he closed a file and said, "You give too much. People often say that. I do not mean it as praise." His words surprised me. "You save children," he continued, "but you do not owe rescue to every adult who chooses harm." No one had ever said that to me. I drove home through the dark mountains and repeated his words. For years, I had treated Marcus's cruelty like an illness. I tried to understand it and care around it. But cruelty was not a fever. It was a choice. During that time, Marcus became more confident. The Aspen Resort moved closer to opening. Elena appeared in business magazines and spoke about bold ideas, private health, and elite comfort. Marcus kept one article beside his computer. He did not know that agents had already traced the money. He did not know that Christian had followed every transfer. He did not know that false contracts, hidden accounts, and private messages now sat inside a federal case file. I watched him move through our home as if nothing could touch him. He also failed to see that his trading system had started to break. The first signs appeared in his face. He slept less. He checked his screens during dinner. He shouted at people through his headset. He blamed bad data, slow staff, and changing markets. One morning, he stood in the kitchen while I prepared for work. "Cancel your flight tonight," he said. "I have an important call. A child needs transport. Another nurse can go." "No." His eyes narrowed. "Do not make this a fight." "It is not a fight. It is my job." He stared at me as if he had met a stranger. In some ways, he had. I no longer bent to make his life easier. I still stayed calm, but my calm no longer served him. It protected me. Christian once said that silence could hold more power than anger. He never praised me for suffering. He praised me for seeing clearly. That difference mattered. Our work became careful and exact. We built a timeline for every payment. We linked each false service bill to a real transfer. We showed how Marcus moved nonprofit money through private companies before it reached the resort fund. Christian treated each detail with respect. He never rushed me when I spoke about my father or the clinic. He never looked away when the truth became painful. One evening, after a long review, he placed a cup of coffee beside me. "No sugar," he said. I looked at him. You remembered. I listen. 2 simple words. Yet they touched a place in me that Marcus had ignored for years. Christian did not ask for anything in return. He did not turn kindness into a debt. He let respect come first. The market fell hard on a Thursday in October. I was at the medical hangar when Marcus called 6 times. I ignored the first 5 because my team prepared for a flight. On the 6th call, I answered. His voice shook. My system made an error. How large? Do not ask me that. Then why did you call? I need you to come home. A 10-year-old girl waited at a rural clinic with severe breathing trouble. I looked at the aircraft door. I cannot. Nora, I am serious. So am I. He began to shout, but I ended the call. By noon, the news reached financial circles. Marcus's system had made huge trades during the crash. It lost millions of dollars for his clients in one day. The loss exposed hidden risks inside his company. Clients demanded records. Partners called lawyers. Then the federal action began. Agents entered his office before sunset. They took computers, phones, and storage drives. The Aspen resort accounts were frozen. The project stopped. Elena was questioned in New York. She did not protect him. Within 2 days, she agreed to give evidence to reduce her own punishment. She gave the government messages, contracts, and account records. She described Marcus as the main planner behind the fraud. Their glamorous empire ended before it opened. Marcus lost his business, his share in the resort, and the trust of his clients. Our mountain home entered a legal dispute because he had used part of it to support business loans. His name appeared across financial news reports. I filed for divorce. He called me after the papers arrived. You knew, he said. Yes. How long? 8 months. Silence filled the line. Then his anger came. You set me up. No, you made the choices. I kept the proof. You spoke to federal agents? Yes, I am your husband. You stopped acting like one long ago. He called me cruel. He said I had changed. He said the old Nora would never have done this. He was right. The old Nora believed love meant endless care. The old Nora thought a strong woman could always carry one more burden. She confused patience with duty. That woman had not died. She had learned. Marcus never asked about the clinic money. He did not say my father's name. He did not speak about the children who lost care because of him. He only spoke about himself. What happens to me now? He asked. I looked through my apartment window at the first snow. You face what you did. The divorce moved quickly because the evidence was clear. I kept my medical income and the property that came from my father. The government began to recover foundation money from the Aspen project. Christian stayed formal while the case remained active. After the main evidence work ended, he met me outside the hangar. I would like to take you to dinner, he said. Not for the case. I studied his face. Why? A small smile appeared. Because I admire you, and because I want to know you when no file sits between us. Respect came first. That was new. I said yes. We moved slowly. I needed time. And Christian never pushed. He understood that care should not demand payment. He saw my kindness as a gift, not a resource he owned. The Horizon Clinic also began to return. The government recovered part of the stolen money. Donors learned about the case and offered help. Doctors, who knew my work, joined the project. A rural health group gave us a new mobile unit at cost. I rebuilt every plan. I changed the account rules so no single person could move money alone. I checked each order myself. Marcus had tried to become the final author of my dream. I refused to let him. 3 weeks before the clinic launch, he came to the hangar. My crew prepared a critical care plane for a flight south. I wore dark flight gear, heavy boots, and my medical radio. I checked the oxygen system, heart monitor, and emergency case. The engine began to turn. A security officer called my name. A man stood beyond the gate. At first, I did not know him. Then he lifted his face. Marcus looked 10 years older. His coat was too thin. His hair had grown long near his ears. His shirt was crushed, and one shoe had a dark mark across the front. He had lost the shape of power. The officer tried to stop him, but Marcus pushed through the open side of the gate. 2 crew members moved toward him. "Let him speak," I said. Marcus reached me and fell to his knees on the cold concrete. Everyone stopped. "Nora, please," he cried. "I have nothing left." Tears ran down his face. Months earlier, he would have hated anyone who saw him like this. Now, he did not care. "Elena ruined me," he said. "She gave them everything. The market broke me. My partners left. I cannot pay my legal team." I watched him without moving. He held his hands toward me. "You have the biggest heart in the world. You forgive everyone. Please help me. Use your contacts. Help with the legal fees. Let me come home." Home. The word meant nothing between us. He looked up with wild hope. "I miss your warmth," he said. "I miss your kindness." There it was. He did not say he missed me. He missed what I gave him. He missed the coffee, the calm voice, the soft answers, and the woman who took his anger and returned care. He missed the safety net he had cut apart with his own hands. I felt nothing. Not hate, not joy, not pity, nothing. The aircraft engine grew louder behind me. Wind pulled at my coat. Marcus shook on the ground. "You do not regret hurting me," I said. "You regret losing access to me." He opened his mouth, but no words came. "You stole my father's money. You stole care from poor children. You used my trust to impress a woman who left when you fell. I made mistakes." "No, you made plans. Nora, please." "My kindness was a privilege," I said. "You lost it when you poisoned my dream." He began to cry again. I looked down at him for the last time. "I save dying children. I do not save parasites. Enjoy prison." His face changed. He finally saw that no soft answer would follow. I turned away. Marcus called my name as I climbed the steps. One crew member closed the heavy cabin door, and his voice disappeared. The aircraft moved across the tarmac. Through the small window, I saw him behind the security line. Then the plane turned, and he left my view. We flew to a mining town where a young boy had suffered a serious fall. His father waited beside him, frightened and lost. I placed one hand on his shoulder. "We have him," I said. "You are not alone." My kindness still lived. Marcus had not destroyed it. He had only lost the right to receive it. 1 year later, I stood in the bright courtyard of the Horizon Clinic. Our mobile unit rested beside a rural health center. Children moved between tables with stickers on their shirts. Parents spoke with nurses under white tents. The clinic now visited 12 towns. We gave free exams, vaccines, breathing care, and basic tests. We also helped families reach larger hospitals when children needed more treatment. A little girl ran past me with a paper sun in her hand. She had drawn a yellow line above green hills. "That is the horizon," she said. "It is beautiful." Christian stood near the clinic door with a clipboard. He watched the children, then looked at me. "You built it," he said. "We built it." He shook his head. "You protected it. The rest of us helped." His love did not feel like hunger. It felt like space. I could breathe inside it. Marcus later went to federal prison. The resort property was sold, and more money returned to the foundation. I did not follow every detail. My life no longer turned around his fall. It turned toward the work before me. For years, Marcus called my softness weak. He believed kindness meant I would accept any pain. He was wrong. Kindness is strength under control. It is a choice and a gift. Every gift can be taken back from hands that abuse it. Grace needs a door. Love needs a line. Kindness needs respect. Marcus missed my kindness when his world fell apart. But by then, I had learned to give that warmth to myself. I gave it to the children, to my father's dream, and to a man who stood beside me without trying to own me. My horizon was no longer stolen. It was wide, clear, and mine. Have you ever given your whole heart to someone who treated your kindness like weakness? How did you take your grace back and reclaim your power? Tell me your story in the comments below. If you love stories about strong women who protect their dreams, please like this video and subscribe to English Short Stories. See you next time.